every time I saw Ramses on the screen, this is what played in my head.
What is it, the Braids?
All right, we've got down to the finale of Love is Blind Season 7. This was one of the craziest seasons ever, with one of the biggest shocking reveals ever with Lil Chicken Nugget we discussed on my channel. And now we're going to review the final episode. I'm going to say there are other couples I never spoke on, so after I get the final out of the way, just to go good with the title of the video, I'm going to go back and give my thoughts on other couples, but basically the Tim situation. All right, so the episode starts with the cliffhanger that left off with Marissa and Ramses.
What is it, the Braids?
One more time.
What is it, the Braids?
The episode starts off with Marissa and Ramses. So I never spoke about this couple on the show, period. So let me backtrack a little bit. What I notice about Ramses is he has a lot in common with Tim, but Tim's delivery is more stern, so it kind of saved Ramses in this season. Both these guys almost want perfection in their partner, but I think it comes from different motives. I'll say Tim's motive when I get to his relationship at the end of this video, but for right now, Ramses' motive is he's been married before. I think that's part of it, but there's something else, because I personally feel he did his wife the same way. And I also think that Ramses is a runner. You know how most people rush into things? I think Ramses is the opposite. He rushes to end things instead of rushing to jump into them. One tiny doubt and he's ready to jump ship. I think that he truly believes he's open-minded, because he'll sit and listen. He'll even nod in a very light conversational like way. But Ramses don't see the final result is always to leave at the end. It's always to leave, or it's always to disagree. Now, I know the entire world is getting on Ramses about the conversation in the kitchen that they had previously when she wasn't feeling well. I think she has autoimmune disease and she was PMSing. And for the average user, bro, chill out. Let your girl get better and then smash the box. Very simple. But I don't think it was about sex. I think audience members are getting it wrong. I think it was about doubt. He is always looking to make sure if everything is long term, everything's going to be perfect. And that's not how relationships work. Everything is not going to be perfect. Everybody is not going to want to touch you all the time, because it wasn't just about sex. He was talking about any form of intimacy. As Marissa went on Nick Vial's show and did an interview, and she discussed that he was talking about more than just sex. But I didn't view it that way. I viewed it that this guy is always in his head. He's always looking for a reason. He's always searching. And if it's not going to be perfect that he feels long term, he out the door. So it shocked me to see him abruptly in the relationship. A lot of people are shocked that they didn't get married, or upset they didn't get married. I don't think that that's a big thing. I don't think Love is Blind is about getting married. If you look at it through these love lenses, Love is Blind is, without seeing the person, can you really get to know them and can you really fall in love? If you get on that show and you fall head over heels in love with someone, and you guys both decide not to get married, 10 days out of the pause, which is crazy. I think 10 days in the pause, I think 2 weeks or something afterwards. If you decide not to get married and you continue the relationship and it's a great, fruitful relationship, love is blind. It worked for you. You do not have to go and get married immediately, although that would be a beautiful thing. And we like seeing that as a show format, but we're talking about real lives being involved here. We're talking about real documented legal paperwork. So I wasn't shocked that Ramses called off the wedding. I was shocked that he broke up with her. What did she do to deserve you breaking up with her? What was the infraction of I don't want to date you no more? He used the show to mask and hide behind we're not supposed to have doubts to go into a wedding. Okay, cool. You got some doubts. If you got doubts, don't get married in less than 2 months. Great. Why did you break up with her? That's what I'm sitting there like, what's the one thing she did that night you pack your bags and you leave and y'all don't speak to each other anymore? And I can get little hints from the interview that she did on Nick Vile's show that they're not together. I didn't see anything that warranted. I must say this was the most heartbreaking breakup I've ever seen from someone on Love is Blind history. I wanted to jump through that screen and just hug Marissa so badly. I felt so horrible, and I can't imagine her pain if we were just doing fine, according to her, even though we saw some little red flags, to it's over. Just like that. He has a pattern. He hasn't changed his pattern. Hannah, Tim, Ramses, 3 different individuals on one season all have this flaw of perfection that they want out of their partner. And because Hannah and Tim was more stern and more abrupt, it allowed Ramses to kind of hide under the radar a little bit, besides the flare up with the intimacy thing and the military thing. But to me, three separate topics, but they all revolve around one thing. So Marissa's a great person. She wants to be a lawyer. She wants the man to be a house husband. He ain't even got to do nothing. I'm not worried about Marissa. She gonna be fine. Now let's move on to Chicken Nugget. Because I've extensively covered this in the videos, and because I knew that they were gonna get married, I don't have a lot to say on this segment. But I want to make one thing clear, right? I'm bored during the entire segment as they go and they get married. Her dad walk her halfway down the aisle. Her mom do all this. Just typical stuff. I know they both are going to say yes. Then it got extremely sad for me. It got extremely sad for me when the camera panned after they were married and it just showed a random clip. And in this clip, I saw a little girl. And then it hit me like, this man, baby mama, wanted him to go on the show. She supported him. He could have told Ashley the truth. I have 3 children. Ashley would have accepted it. They still would have been married. He could have had his baby mama in the audience with his 3 children. This man had random kids at his wedding and didn't invite his own children that he was raising until the day he left for the show. I mentioned diabolical so many times, but for the sake of 7 days, we got into the reunion. I'm going to be fair and say we need to hear his side, even though I can't imagine anything he can say. I literally can't imagine it. But I'm going to keep that window open for truly being open-minded, unlike Ramses, Hannah, and Tim. I'm going to keep that window open to hear his side. We've heard Bri, the baby mama side. We've heard Shadra. I forget her name. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. We heard Bri's ex-wife side, which seems to align up. So now we'll hear his side. And for the children's sake, I literally can't think of nothing that he can say to redeem himself. But for the children's sake, I hope that there is something, because I don't want to imagine that a man, if he stays married and they have a long, fruitful, lasting marriage, he got to pull out them wedding photos. And every time you look at that day, this is the day that, you lied and disowned your children, and they weren't even allowed at the wedding. I hate to see his children happy in high school, and he's a great father now, and he's in their life and everything turned out perfectly. But they go look on that wall at that wedding. That's when my dad denied being my father. And they weren't at the wedding. That was crazy. That's what stuck out to me. But another thing I want to say about this is Ashley and Tim's story was pretty bland. What made their story spicy is what happened on YouTube, is what happened on TikTok. All the things that we found out. If you remove everything out of your brain of what we found out, they pretty much had an uneventful storyline. And when I look at it from that point of view, I can understand why Ashley married Chicken Nugget. She married Chicken Nugget because everything was amazing and great. And the only iffy part they had in her brain, because she's not on TikTok and this happened last year, she don't know all these details, but in her brain, he donated sperm and helped the couple. He doesn't see the children. He not in the children's lives. The children don't even know how he look. Not in reality. I'm saying what she know as she's filming the show. All right, he donated some sperm. Other than that, everything is great. If you look at it only from the show Love is Blind, it was pretty uneventful. They were happy. So it isn't too crazy that she married him. The big thing is, how is Ashley feeling after all of this information came out? That's what we want to know. I feel like we made Love is Blind better as an audience. What we found and what we dug up, we made the show better than the bland segment of Chicken Nugget and Ashley. I don't even remember their name. That's sad. I gotta Google what's the little couple name. I gotta Google their name. That's some boring stuff when you gotta Google their name. I don't even know what I'm gonna say about them. Taylor and who? Taylor and Garrett got married. I don't know what else to say. I literally don't know what to say. Great the whole show. One little hiccup where she probably blew it out of the water because she had a little bit too much to drink. I know what I'll say. I did go back and watch the episode. I went back and paid attention to his word. Garrett is very smart. Before they went to that party, he never said he didn't reply. He said, I just read it, clicked the heart on it and went forgot all about it. So he didn't say that he did not reply, but he implied, he made it appear that he didn't reply. So that was a very smart mix of words with the physician, astrophysicist, I'm sorry. But other than that, I think that they're a great couple. They're going to last the test of time. They're not going to have any issues. They're married right now. And I'm just wasting time because I have nothing else to say on that. All right. So let's go back and look at a couple couples. Alexandra and Tim. What I would like to say about Alexandra, I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but she is so beautiful. She's by far, Alexandra was the most beautiful woman on this season. In my subjective opinion, she like this innocent little smile. I love her face. But going into their relationship, we can only guess when we don't see stuff. People are blaming Love is Blind for not showing fights. I don't think it's Love is Blind's fault. I think it's season 7. You learn things as you watch a show. Everybody on this show watch Love is Blind. I guarantee it. So if you learn from the mistakes of previous seasons, then what you're doing is you're purposely waiting until all the cameras leave for the night, and then that's when you talk about your serious things. So either Love is Blind can put cameras in the apartment that they let the couples live in, or they're going to have people around the clock filming them, because I think season 7 is the start, and I think the cast of season 8, season 9, season 10, they're going to go on and do the same thing. The first big argument, Tim presented it as if she got all loud in his face and put his hand over her mouth and all of this stuff. She does an interview and she says she was trying to get him to calm down, and she didn't do it. She didn't touch him. She didn't do anything. So I have to piece together what I think happened, and I have to do it by the clips that they showed. Tim, in the final argument, said that Alexandra slept all day. Alexandra then comes out with the facts, and he doesn't disagree. I slept from 1 hour. I slept from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So now I have evidence that Tim can take a situation and exaggerate it to make himself look better. So due to that, I don't think that. Tim also says she never called. She said that she called him 3 times. She was trying to show him. When he would say these claims, she would come back with facts. Whenever he's presented with facts, he shuts down. I don't want to be with you. If that's what I'm getting from Tim, I don't think that Alexandra was that bad in the first argument that we never saw. I think that the entire world is looking at Tim's biggest problem is that, you know, he is very abrupt, cold, and demanding. It's all about him. I never once saw him ask about her. I never once saw him ask about her opinion. I never once saw him care about anything of how she was feeling. It was like, this is how I am. This is my rules. And if you don't do it, I'm out. That's his second biggest problem. Because if you're that way, for instance, Hannah is saying she's so mortified about how she was on the show. And she learned a lot to grow from that. Okay. Tim's biggest issue is he thinks that he's right. It's one way to have a horrible quality, but to have a horrible quality and on top of that, you see no reason to change. You see nothing that you did wrong. You're there having a conversation with your partner and you have these fears. The reason couples talk and we about our fears is, first, we would like to be wrong. If I think that you cheated on me, I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want you to tell me, man, I was trying to buy you something. Here go the camera right here. I'm trying to sneak and throw this surprise party for you. I want that to be true. I don't want it to be true that you cheating on me. So we want reassurance on our fears. And ultimately we would like to be wrong in situations. Tim always thinks that he's right every single time. And I saw some people blaming this on the death of his sisters. While trauma can play a part in your life and your mental, I don't think that this is something that came from a traumatic experience. I think this is how Tim has always been. I think his mother allowed him to be this way because she felt that she's that way. When his mom was talking, I felt the energy that she didn't have a happy marriage. Yes, she's married for over 40 years, but I think his mom drug his dad through hell. And his dad learned to get quiet and to comply, like we saw on the show. And Tim is to have a successful relationship, he's going to have to find a woman that's just like that. And the older you get, the harder it is. Because when you start dating in your late 30s, your 40s or whatever, everybody has been through so many experiences that we're willing to let's go through things and we're ready to give up as well. So I think those are the fundamental things that's wrong with Tim. You can see it on his Instagram. On Tim's Instagram, he snaps back. Go down and click on the photo, and when people say something to him, he's replying back to everybody. He's argumentative, he's abrupt, he's cold, he's a bit delusional at times, and it's going to be very hard for him to find love in the future. I don't think Alexandra's going to have any issues. All she got to do is go to a wing spot. Go to a wings. You're good at eating the wings. Go to a wing spot. You're going to be okay. Now, I think I'm going to make another video. I may even chop the end part off. I'm going to make another video on the couples because I don't want this to go too long. But y'all know me. I'm just waiting for the reunion. I'm waiting for Ashley and Chicken Nugget part. That's the biggest thing I'm waiting for. And I'm trying to find stuff to keep this channel going between seasons. Got to have some kind of content on the channel while we wait for Love is Blind Season 8. But until then, hold it down.